Hi, good morning. I don't know what happened. That last one did not work so well, so we're gonna try this take two again. I don't know what, my phone just started being like really weird and slow and creepy. So hopefully this one works. But I'm gonna start over because I don't even think it like actually did anything. I don't know what happened. So sorry about that. But anyways, hi again. I'm Danny Carter Edens, and welcome to your Monday morning motivation for this week. Like I said before, if you didn't hear, I had a lot of people. I just wanted to answer this question before I got started. I had a lot of people who asked me how I come up with these topics. Like, they're like, how do you come up with this stuff every week? And the thing is that I, like, a lot of times before I come on Mondays, I don't always know, like, up until even like a half hour before I come on, what I'm going to talk about. Kind of what I do is when I'm exercising, I really just kind of open up my mind to kind of receive what, I don't know, receive a topic, and maybe I'm hoping that at some point it's just something that somebody needs to hear, and I'm saying what you need to hear, or something like that. So I hope that that kind of helps out. There's no like great lesson plan that I have here. I just kind of wait to see what people like, kind of what comes to me, and then I share my thoughts on it. All right, today we're going to talk about self-doubt, and I wanted to talk about it especially because I just had a humongous and fun experience this week at homecoming at BU, which is my alma mater, Valparaiso University, woo! And the reason I wanted to talk about self-doubt is because the reason I had such a big part in homecoming this year is because I was asked to be on an organization at BU that I never would have guessed I would ever be asked to be on if you had 2 years ago. Just a little back story about me. You may know this, you may not know this, but growing up, I was just always different. I was, I didn't like the things little black girls, I guess, should like, or listen to the right music, or even like the right boys. So I always felt like I was different, and I always felt like I was like weird, and just there was something wrong with me. And that, self-doubt carried on into my 20s and even into my 30s. And then a couple years ago, I received a message from a friend of mine that asked me to be on this organization. And my very first response, because I have a lot of self-doubt, my very first response was, you don't want me. I'm weird. I'm artsy-fartsy. I'm like, no, you don't need me. And he said, actually, we don't have that, and that's actually what we need. We need you because you're different. And that was weird. I was like, you want me because I'm different? You want me because I don't bring to the table the exact same thing as everybody else? But yeah, that's exactly why they wanted me to join this group. So I want you to think about, what if something that you believe to be a weakness is actually your greatest strength? There are so many times that we as children, as adults, as parents, as coworkers, career people, we always believe that we aren't enough, that we're weird, or we're crazy, or there's something wrong with us that keeps people from seeing that we are good enough, or that we're smart enough, and it keeps us from believing that. We believe the negativity. We have self-doubt, and a lot of times that that self-doubt is, it's inward. It's inward born. We don't. And I don't think we always know it, because sometimes it's just kind of there from the beginning. You kind of pick up as you grow up that, okay, well, I'm different. I think this way, or I think that way. And then you kind of just learn how to exist in that realm of difference or whatever. And I had some excellent conversations, some amazing conversations with some good friends from college this past weekend. And we just kind of talked about how we walk through our self-doubt, and how we walk through it to be where we are, because all of us have overcome, of course, Jessica, of course, how we walk through it, and how we go to be where we are, because it's not always we can say all the time, like, yeah, great, be positive. But sometimes it really is something inside of us that's telling us that we can't do it. And we have to get past that. So one of the things I was thinking of, I said, okay, self-doubt. There have got to be people in this world who didn't believe they could, but did anyway, or, didn't listen to what someone said, or didn't believe that they had anything to bring to the table, and then did anyway. So I looked at the Bible because I thought, well, hey, there's a lot of people in the Bible who were not exactly what I would consider maybe stand-up citizens. And so, or even people that were not bad people, but just weren't always, that didn't believe that they could, make a change. So, I thought about just a few people. I'm thinking about Moses. Technically, really, Moses shouldn't even have existed because he should have been killed. And then on top of that, the reason he was killed is because literally of who he was almost killed is literally because of who he was as a person. Before he was even born, they were hating. And that's a lot to overcome. Like, people literally are just hating you because of your heritage or because of who you are before you even come onto this earth. And, he went on, though, to deliver the word of God. He went on to deliver the 10 Commandments that, Judeo-Christians follow today. If you had asked him, hey, do you think you're going to be a, basically a spokesperson for God? He would have probably laughed in your face. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Moses had a speech impediment. So that's, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. So that's another thing that he probably would have been like, yeah, no, they don't want me. I can barely even talk, So, but he was able to overcome that. You look at David. David was a wimpy little skinny little kid that jumped up because, everybody thought oh no, he's not going to do it. He didn't believe that he could do it until one day he did. And then he basically brought down Goliath and became the king, and who some consider the greatest king of all time. You look at Mary. Mary, what did she say when the angel came to her and said, hey, you're going to have a baby? She was like, you sure? I don't know. But then she went on to become the mother of Christ. And people were giving her side eye. People were giving her side eye because she's walking around unmarried and pregnant. And sure, she had, people that were kind of walking ahead of her that were saying, oh, she's carrying the Son of God. But you know how people are. Were they believing that? I don't know. So she had to walk through some great self-doubt, I'm sure, that she experienced every single day, especially as her belly grew and grew and grew. And then the last person is Paul. Paul. He literally was persecuting Christians, and then he became one. And if you had asked them, a few years before he became a follower of Christ, if he was going to be one, he would have told you no. He would have believed that everything was wrong about being a follower of Christ, and he would not have believed that he could have done the things that he did for the faith. So like I said, if you had asked any of these people whether they believed that they were going to change the world, which they did, they would have said no, and they would have laughed at you. They wouldn't have believed that they could change the world. They just wouldn't have. They wouldn't have thought they had it in them. They wouldn't have thought that even if they did have it in them, what difference would it make? And it really just took someone believing in them, someone knowing that they could do it for them to be there. And you know what? After a while, they believed it themselves. So, yeah, maybe we're not going to all, be immaculately concepted or fight a giant and save the day or whatever. But why not you? Why not me? Why can't we overcome what we believe to be our negatives and go on to do something great? And the awesome thing about go on to do something great is that means something different for everyone. There's so much that we could do if we just crawled out of the I always call it climb out of the hole. If we climbed out of the hole of self-doubt and we just, put our face, let the sun shine on our face, and we just believed that we could do these things. And I mean, guys, look it up. Look it up. I could go, and I just used examples from the Bible, but I could go into so many examples from history, so many things that happened, so many people that were considered the wrong person, that believed they were the wrong person, that went on to change the world, that went on to change a community, that went on to change someone's life. There are so many things that you can do. There are so many reasons that you are here. If you woke up this morning and you're breathing, there's a reason. So whatever you perceive to be your misfortunes, misgivings, I don't know. Just know that you are on this earth right now for a reason. And isn't it almost, it's our job to find out what that reason is. Because one of the things that I always remembered, I read this book, and I will put a link to the book when I can find, I can't remember the author, but I remember the quote from the book. It basically said that people at the end of their lives did not regret, like weird things. They didn't want to be rich. They weren't mad about, they forgave all their friends that did ill to them. But the biggest regret that most people had was that they didn't follow their dreams. They didn't go beyond what their self-limiting belief was. That's the biggest regret. So that means there's something inside of us. There's something inside of us that is telling us to go towards what you are supposed to be doing, and we stop ourselves. Today I believed that, that I couldn't do something at the gym because, that weight, I can't move that amount of weight. And guess what? I did, and it felt awesome. Every day we have little self-doubts. Now, granted, that's not like a humongous, thing, but every day we have little self-doubts that stop us from being the best that we can be. So I want you guys to really think on this. What I don't know if you notice, but what I try to do is whatever I talk about on Monday morning, I make that kind of the overarching theme for the week on my coaching page. So this week we're going to be talking about self-doubt, and we're going to be helping you identify when you have self-doubt. And sometimes you don't even see it. Sometimes you don't even realize it because we are so used to doubting ourselves. We literally don't even see it. Think of how many times we stop ourselves. Think how many times we stop ourselves just because we don't believe that we can do it. We have no knowledge of whether or not we can do it. Honestly, we have no knowledge of whether or not we are the right person for whatever, because we've never been in that situation before, but because something somewhere in here or in here has told us, no, you can't do it, we take ourselves out of the game. Guys, self-doubt is real. It is real. And it can stop us from so many things. So many dreams, so many aspirations. And I'm trying to drive it home to you because I know a lot of you right now are watching this and you're going, yeah, right, Danny. Yeah, you could do it, but I couldn't. But guess what? That's it. That's the voice. That's the voice. That's the self-doubt voice that's telling you that I can do it, but you can't. That's telling you that someone else can do it, but you can't. I don't know if you saw, I posted a couple of days ago. I'm a dancer. If you don't know this, I'm a classically trained dancer who was actually born with 2 left feet. Got a cute pair of cute little booties, corrective shoe booties, foot booties. Here we go. I danced. I've trained dancers. And I shouldn't have honestly really been able to walk that well. It happens. Move through it. Because that doubt is going to stop you from being who you are meant to be. And don't let it. Okay, guys, I have a very unfortunate date with my home warranty association. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off and make that phone call. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. I hope you have a wonderful October. It's October 1st, first day of October. And October 1st, I really kind of start to think as... in our house, we like the holidays. So basically the holidays for us are from like October 1st until like February 15th. So this is a great time of year, the beginning of a great time of year. And I just hope you guys really enjoy this. And I really want you to think about your self-doubt. And I want you to think about working through it. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you want to drop a comment below, share this, do whatever. I would love to hear from other people and their thoughts. All right, guys. Happy Monday.